What's up, guys? This is Jeff with Paradigm Canine, and this is week 2 with our March dogs. And what a week it was. We ended up losing power Friday and all day Saturday. I was sick the second half of the week, but we got it done. Let's go. So Winnie here is her owners aren't sure if they're going to upgrade to the full program yet or not. So we're treating her as a 2-week dog, which means we don't teach all the commands. We focused on just a couple really crucial ones and work on a lot of reliability with it. So she doesn't know a formal heel like the rest of the dogs that we teach, where it looks like she's walking in a heel. It's essentially just really good leash manners. It's a very, very rough heel, but it's not taught to be as refined as like heel, as like this heel, where the dog knows how to stay exactly by your left leg. Sit. That's a lot. No, sit. A lot more precise. But we're looking at functional stuff for her. She's got some reactivity issues to other dogs. A lot of just general lack of listening and focus and manners and things. So for the rest of her time here, today's Wednesday, so she has a couple more days. So obviously it's a limited amount of time that we have to work her through this stuff. So we're just trying to instill enough proficiency with being able to ignore real world distractions. Initially, before I started recording, she had a lot more trouble staying focused and refocusing on Kayla with the dog here. But as you can see, like, it doesn't have to be a huge production once they know how to ignore the distraction. Now we just have to use it a lot in the real world until she starts forgetting that the dog is there. Now, a stationary dog is much easier to deal with and to handle heel than a dog that's moving. So if I start walking too, it's a little bit more interesting. So again, this is just reps though. Kayla's going to be just nagging her essentially, but let's go. She's going to be, every time she looks away, nope, don't do that, do this instead. She's had her whole life so far to look at whatever she wanted when she saw those things, without, the owners didn't have the ability to actually refocus her and get her attention back. So now that she has those skills, we're going to use it as much as we can with the time we have left, and then we'll see if hopefully they do want to upgrade to the full program, because she has a ton of potential to do all this same stuff off leash as well, just like Luna is here. Now, like I said, movement is a lot harder, right? Let's go. Heel. Running is a lot harder than walking. Heel to ignore. So we're probably not going to work her all the way up to where we have Luna barking in her face and things like that. We'll do what we can, like I said, with the time we have left. But the main thing is that we install enough skills so that if the owners do decide this meets their needs and they're going to take her home Friday, they have enough skills in place to where they can progress this on their own at home. Heel.
Yes.
No. Ice. Down. Heel. Heel. Heel.
Here she is.
Good. Girl. Like I said, a dog that has been taught the formal heel would be taught how to like sit straight and things like that, but she knows how to do 80% of a heel on leash. Again, we're not doing any of this stuff off leash right now, but
Girl. Yes.
there we go. Nice.
Let's go. Yes. Oh, please.
Louie's a little bit behind where the other dogs are. He got a late start, but he's catching up. We're still working on building his food drive up to where we can use it for lowering and shaping the heel position a lot better, but he responds really well to both leash pressure and physical and verbal praise. He's more than happy to work for, so it hasn't really hindered us any. So we work it like this, using a lot of cheerleading, so to speak, as our reward system for them, while we work on teaching them to enjoy the food games and things like that a lot more.
Good. No. Yes, here it is.
In the second week, again, we're preparing them for how to take instruction and, more importantly, how to take correction from us. We don't want them to feel like a lot of conflict about it. We don't want them to view training as like, oh, they're making me do this stuff. It's not fun. We want to keep their spirits high. We want that tail wagging. We're always paying attention to the body language of the dog. At the end of the day, like Paradigm Canine's dogs turn out the way that they do because of how we teach them to work with a lot of enthusiasm and confidence. It's not enough just to get them to behave reliably. And you actually find that when the dog is enjoying what they're doing and they want to perform the obedience the way that we teach them, it ends up being a lot more reliable with a lot less correction in the long run.
Yes. Please. Yes.
With Hazel here, this is one of the many things that we work on during the e-collar conditioning stage. With every command that they learn, heel, place, down, sit,
Yes.
we layer the e-collar on top of the commands after they've learned how to do
There
it.
you go.
So we're not teaching
Yes.
anything with the e-collar. It's just layered in once they know how to actually perform whatever behavior it is we're asking.
Please.
We're only working on one at a time. So what she's doing here, we have a speaker box hooked up to the e-collar. So
Go, good girl. No.
you'll be able to hear when Kayla's using the e-collar. The idea is we want to make sure that if we need to
Good girl.
communicate to her, like if they have company over and she's supposed to be on place and she gets super excited and she breaks the place command and hops off, that if you need to correct her with the e-collar, she's going to know what she's supposed to do. We don't want any confusion. This should look like a game when you're doing it correctly. So she's going to turn the e-collar on first, then offer some help if she needs it.
Please. Girl. Yes. Yes. There she is, good girl.
You can see why, working on
Please.
teaching and luring and building food drive and building motivation and all these things in the first phase of training is so important. Because if you go into your training program and you start with something like this, they're just going to get confused. They haven't learned how to work yet. They haven't learned how to enjoy the work, and you run the risk of them fixating on the e-collar sensation without knowing what to do about it.
Yes.
So we want to remove all doubt first. We're not even going to touch an e-collar until
There you go.
the command looks exactly how we want it to look and it's reliable with no distractions.
Good. Yes.
Try to wait a second when you step towards place this time because she's guessing. So you'll see this a lot if you're not careful with the smarter dogs. They read your body language. They know because we're just working on the context of there's like one thing we're doing over and over and over. So if you don't hold yourself accountable and test it, as soon as you take a step towards the place, they're just like, oh, you just want me to go over here. So they'll just do it. So we have a lot of little strategies that we'll try. Sometimes just waiting to see. There we go.
Yes.
Or this time, kid, just give her some free food right there. A lot of times I'll do this where they'll come over to me, and when they're expecting me to send them to place, I'll just feed them and I will ignore place for a little bit. If they go to place, we'll just stop them and we don't give them anything for trying. We're not rewarding guessing. I want to make sure the dog is nice and stable right in front of me. Not guessing. I want them waiting for the next clue on what I want them to do. or cue, if you will. So we're going to prompt with the e-collar. That actually gets them to use their brain. See that little bit of hesitation there? And she thought about it, and then she went back. You know, when you work it this way, we're not doing all the work for them. I'm prompting you with the e-collar. That means that I'm using the e-collar to say, hey, you need to do something, and then I'm waiting for the dog to just do it. If they don't do it, and it's clear they don't know how to do it, that's what the help is for. But in Hazel's case, I think she knows what to do, but she's gonna take the easy way out. So leave it on, Kayla. Now offer help.
Please.
This is why we call it escape training. If the collar is on, and it's just a tickle right now. It's, as you can see, like if you didn't have the speaker going on when she's using it, you wouldn't even know that it was on. She can barely feel it. That's where we want it. But what we're allowing her to learn is that when that e-collar sensation comes on at that low level, it's going to stay on when we're doing escape training like this. We're not just prompting, now we're teaching her that it turns off based on her actions.
Good girl, yes.
So right there, where she committed to going, the e-collar went off. It's a really powerful teaching tool when you use it right. So do that again. There's another guess, so we just ignore it, kind of reset.
Please.
There, that took a while. It was clear she wasn't going to go. And sometimes, like, because she's working at a further distance now, it's a little bit harder. So it's okay if you need to take a step back every so often and offer a little bit more help. It's part of the learning process.
Please.
There's offering it down.
Yes. Good girl, did you see this?
And it's really tempting if you're not getting the response immediately, for it's just human nature to just turn it up. But if you know the dog is feeling it, and it's just an experience thing, you have to do it enough times to read the subtle signs. Sometimes you'll see, like, if they're panting, they'll stop panting. You might see a little squint of the eyes or an ear flick. But often, like the big stoic dogs, they won't show any physical signs. So sometimes it just takes repetition here. And we will be testing this later without the speaker, because we've had plenty of intelligent dogs pick up on the speaker going off, and they'll go to place, because that's a clue too. Like, oh, they want me to go to place when I hear the speaker. But before we start working on, working the place command around big distractions and things like that, we need to make sure that if she breaks it and gets off, we can use it to send her back, and it's going to make sense to her. It's going to be clear, and she's going to do it reflexively. There we go. That's looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn the speaker off, and we're going to do some reps here. So I'll tell you, Kayla will tell us when it's on. It's on right now.
Yes.
We'll do that one more time. So yeah, now she's not just bouncing right back to place because she was getting free food.
Yes.
Good. All right, do one more. It's on right now. So yeah, she's very subtly moving towards place. That is a form of help. We don't want to give her more than she needs, though.
No. Yes.
So do another one. We'll look for a good one to end it on here. It's on right now. There we go.
Yes.
So we'll take that. From here, it's just reps. When she's doing it really consistently, like with her, in her sleep, basically, then we will switch, and then we'll use the command first, and we'll make it harder. We'll start throwing in distractions and real world stuff. So this week with Rip, I'm mainly working on, I've only done 2 different commands with the e-collar with him. With these behavior rehab dogs, we take things quite a bit slower, because he already is new and was semi-proficient with a handful of obedience commands. Like, he knew how to come, he knows how to sit. I can get him to lay down. things like that. But you'll hear me say all the time that I don't necessarily care what commands a dog knows. It's more important how they know it or how they were taught. Because, I mean, and one of the most common things that I'll hear, your ears bothering you, man? You good. One of the most common things that I'll hear from a lot of people inquiring about dog training is that their dog knows some commands and they'll do it until they won't. And that's not good enough. You know, like, your obedience only matters if they will do it when it really counts. So you have to really ask yourself, like, is there a disconnect between what your intentions were for the rules that you want your dog to understand, or is your obedience conditional? Because unconditional obedience means even when they don't want to do it, even when their instincts are taken over, they will still do it. So what we aim to do with these guys is just reteach from the beginning anything that they've learned anyways. But with Rip, the most important thing for him, let's go, good boy. I'm gonna clean your ears today, buddy. Most important thing for him is for him to understand how to tolerate pressure and not take it as a personal attack, because these guys have often they've often learned that obedience is conditional, it is optional, and if they would rather stand their ground on something like a toy that they don't want to give up or their bowl of food that they don't want to tolerate somebody walking near or whatever, okay, then they're going to resort to their type A dominant type personality to kind of like throw their weight around and kind of flex their muscles, so to speak. So with Rip, I need to take the conflict out of the training. So like, he will sit obviously, but what I want is for him to understand, okay, and I wish I got a video when I first started doing this with him, because he was just back talking me and grumbling and snarling at me the whole time, not trying to aggress towards me or anything, but telling me like, I don't like this. And I had to rep it out so much to where I could do this and not get him biting at the leash. Yes. Like, he was literally that intolerant that if I raised the leash up like that, yes, he would get mad about it. It's like, how dare you? It's like, it's not about him learning how to sit. It's about him learning that he turns pressure off by sitting. Yes, because we're going to use that later in harder situations. And I'm going to show you here with the e-collar. Now, I'm working very, very low with him. This is at 5. Yes. And I've done hundreds of reps with this. With him, this is very important. I need him to know exactly what it means, because he just has such a knee-jerk reaction, yes, at these low levels, to get annoyed and to fight. So I need to almost turn this into a game, which will desensitize him to it. Okay, because what's going to happen later is he's going to be doing something he's not allowed to do, and I need to say no and potentially apply a consequence to that. But if these dogs they're bred to fight through pain and discomfort, and to be very, very persistent, in states of adversity. So I'm not just gonna be able to like correct my way out of problems with him. Okay, he has to understand, yes, that the correction is just feedback. It's just information. It's not necessarily even a punishment for him, because he's going to be willing to take punishment. That's not what it's about with dogs like this. Okay, come on. It is in his mind, yes, when that e-collar comes on at these low levels, it is information, which is when you sit, yes, in this context, this is all I've been doing for 3 days. Man, I'm just slinging food everywhere. Is all I've been doing for 3 days is sit in place, mostly just sit. So I'm not worried about place right now. It's just, if I tap this button, yes, will you sit? And will you sit with eagerness? Because what comes after he turns the e-collar off, yes, is a reward. So not only does the pressure go away when he sits, which is the first win for him, but he also gets a food reward. Let's go. Let's go. Good boy. So I tap. Yes, watch his face when we do it. If he doesn't look eager, and you'll see the clarity because he knows what's coming next. Yes, that's what we want. That is clear communication. I'm not using the e-collar to force behavior. Yes, I'm using it to teach him, and again, to give him information. Food, food, right here. Use that sniffer. Let's go. I'm using to give him information. Let's go. Good boy, there you go. That he can then act on. Yes. Especially because he is sensitive to the e-collar stem. If I'm just working this, yes. Just simply if I roll right into, okay, like he knows how to sit, so now I'm going to use high-level e-collar corrections to punish him for not sitting, I'm going to add so much conflict in the training, and with him, that'll just turn into a fight. Here, yes, he essentially feels like he has agency. He is in control over what's happening. And it is, again, it's a beneficial thing. I'm not, yeah, there you go, I know. I turned it up a little bit there just out of curiosity. Okay. So we're back to 5. Yes, good boy. So we're going to try it at 6, just a little bit higher. Come on. Now that we have a good understanding, yes, I can work this routine here to desensitize him to the e-collar stem too, because he is so sensitive to it. Normally I warn against that because I've seen plenty of really strong, powerful dogs that people use the e-collar too much in this fashion. You desensitize them to it too much, okay, and then you can hold it down at 100 and they're just sitting there taking it because they're used to it and they're strong, yes, resistant to discomfort, stuff like that. But with Rip, I don't think we're going to have that problem. Let's go. It's actually far better to prepare him, yes, for what the higher levels feel like, so that he knows the higher levels mean the same thing as these low levels. Yes. And to be clear, we're only going to be using higher levels in situations that warrant it. So like if we were outside and there's a lot of distraction, or if he's, let's go, has tunnel vision on something, he's going to need a higher level to get the same response. We're not going higher to purposely cause discomfort. Yes, we're using the lowest level we typically need to get the response out of the dog. There it is, good boy. So that's what I want to see. Ears up, eyes locked on me in a good way with anticipation. Yes, there's no fear, no discomfort, no conflict. He's not getting mad at me anymore. This is textbook perfect. It just took us 3 days to get here. The first 2 days, literally every time I put pressure on the leash or every time I tapped the button, he was snarling, barking, growling, jumping around. You just get mad at me because he's never been in a position where he didn't have sit 100% ability to just walk away if he didn't like doing something. Yes. So I just kept repping this out, repping it out. When you're pairing it, oh God, dude. Wash my hands, man. Slobbery today. And when we're pairing it with these rewards, that's why a reward system is so powerful. When you do it right, eventually this type of conditioning happens. So this isn't like necessarily a learned thing as much as it's a conditioned response. You do something over and over again, the dog gets an almost, reflexive, involuntary emotional response to what you're doing. So when I talk about removing conflict from training, this is what I'm talking about. This is what it looks like. Let's go. Sit. Good. Nice stable sit. Yes. Nice clear understanding of what he's supposed to do to get the reward.